Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Everyone checking in on the cryptocurrency space, we're going to be looking at Bitfinex charts today because Coinbase is in the middle of some maintenance, so those charts haven't been printing for the last hour. The bulls are in control. That's the bottom line at this point. We have a scenario where we lost the pattern of a higher low every day on Bitcoin, and the bears saw no follow through. So technically, this is our higher low of 89.45, but knowing how brief the consolidation is, this isn't a major level of support for me. It's a major short-term level, but if that level were to break, I wouldn't say the daily uptrend has been lost on Bitcoin. So we're heading up to test resistance. The daily inside bar from yesterday just broke bullish. We're going to see increased volume today, and we're looking up at 94.90 as the only resistance nearby, and then we'll look at psychological levels, 95, 9600. And at this point, we haven't really talked in probably 3 weeks or so, a month plus, about the bottom being in for Bitcoin. And we've been doing polls back when we were at about 7,000. We had 2/3 of people saying the bottom was set. Then when we moved up a little bit more towards 8,000, we had 3/4 of people saying the bottom is set. I think at this point, I would probably say maybe 85 to 90% of people would say that the bottom of Bitcoin is in. And now the question is, how much can we run on this bull move? Pretty much the question for me for Bitcoin in 2019 is, are we going to all-time highs, or are we going to set a monthly lower high and tighten up into 2020, which is entirely possible as well, and something we'll be keeping an eye on. As far as the bigger picture goes, we have gold breaking out from a 2-year let's say a 2-year monthly equilibrium has been building on gold, and it's breaking bullish. That's notable in the grand scheme of things. The S&P 500 just hit an all-time high. Everybody keeps talking about how negative the economy is looking and things are slowing down and all these rate cuts and all that. And that's all well and good. And I know a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space are looking for the market to dump or collapse. Personally, I don't like, hoping the market collapses, hoping that Bitcoin will go up as a result, just because I know the vast chain reaction of negative implications that's going to have on a lot of people's lives. But bottom line is, price action is king, and the markets right now are extremely bullish. Yes, that can all change very quickly. We will see it change when it happens with volume and losses of uptrends. But until that happens, the market bulls are in full control at all-time highs. So we'll continue to monitor the overall big picture of things. But as of right now, we have cryptocurrency strength, gold strength, market strength. A lot of strength out there. So for Bitcoin, looking at the 4-hour time frame, we had a scenario where it was a potential head and shoulders pattern with our left shoulder, our head, and this was our right shoulder. And of course, we never broke support, so we never confirmed that pattern. And now we have clear 4-hour higher lows. We just formed another 4-hour higher low as the bulls are seeing continuation. So we got 89.45 as a support level. We've got 90.66, and we've got 92.41. Those are our 4-hour higher lows. When we lose the 4-hour higher lows, we zoom out to the daily and we look for a daily higher low to form. And my target would be the daily exponential support, which hasn't been back tested since we have made this significant move over the last week and a half. So that will be the level that I watch if we lose the 4-hour uptrend. Otherwise, all-time highs, I wish, the highs of 2019 are in sight. And you better believe we'll have that all-time highs video ready to go the day that we get there, which is just a matter of time. Ethereum. So I'm still in my Ethereum position just because I haven't had a reason to sell. I went over in the video that we did last time, I believe that was 2 days ago, where I moved my stop loss. And the reason that I moved my stop loss was seeing where the RSI levels were and seeing that there was the potential that I would get stopped out right before a bounce took place. That is what happened. So comfortably still in this position and still profitable, and moving up my stop losses now with the 4-hour uptrend. So I'm using Coinbase levels, but my 4-hour uptrend is clear here, and my stop is below the 4-hour uptrend. We got 266 support and 267.11, and you can see we're clearly not as strong as Bitcoin. Looking at ETH BTC, it's been in a pullback for the last 8 days. So clearly seeing weakness there. The weekly time frame, we are going to look for a higher low to form compared to 2542. Make that 24542. So 245 is support. We're going to look for a higher low to form compared to that level, but the odds of seeing a weekly trend change are decreasing with every day that we pull back from here, because that just makes more distance that the bulls would have to cover to see a bull break. So ETH not doing a whole lot, and in a tightening daily range. We have the high, low the pullback, lower high, and the bulls are trying to see essentially a cup and handle pattern with the psychology here. If we put it up on the 2-day time frame, it's going to be a little bit more smooth. But left side of resistance, right side unable to break the left side by about $10, which is about 4%, a little bit less than that. And now trying for a little bull flag and to break both of those levels at once to head to 300. But we're going to have to see a significant shift in this ETH BTC chart and a solid daily bounce if that's going to take place, in my opinion. So I will hold my position as long as the 4-hour uptrend is in control. I was planning on entering LTC, and we're watching this very clear tightening pattern on LTC, and it's still in play, and I'm still interested in it. But yesterday I had a stop buy set for LTC, and I pulled it, and I'll tell you why. So high, low, lower high, higher low. We double topped 140. Oh, and I'm glad I wasn't trading on Bitfinex because I probably would have gotten stopped into that rejection. Coinbase formed a clear lower high here, whereas Bitfinex broke bullish by about 7 cents. So we're calling that a double top, and now the bulls must hold 129 to form another daily higher low. The daily exponential period, 12 period is support, and we're going to look to continue to tighten up in this range. So the reason that I exited, or the reason that I pulled my order, which was a stop buy order for a test of resistance at 140 on Coinbase, and I saw the price action where we were hovering just under it. We were in the 139s. And at that point in time, Bitcoin had started its breakout. So we were right about here. Excuse me. So we were right about here. And Bitcoin had already broken out for multiple hours, and we did not see Litecoin break resistance at that point. So I said to myself, okay, we are clearly seeing Litecoin pull back in relation to Bitcoin, and LTC BTC was pulling back pretty hard at that point. And I said to myself, okay, if we're going to break 140 on Litecoin, what are the odds that we're going to get significant follow through, knowing that Bitcoin is already getting extended? So at that point, the 15-minute time frame for Bitcoin, the RSI was up above 70. The hourly chart had seen multiple green hours in a row. We still had resistance nearby, but it was just the risk to reward of, we know healthy consolidation on Bitcoin is likely coming sooner rather than later. And the last thing I want to do is get bought into a position right when Bitcoin starts to consolidate. So seeing that Litecoin was weaker than Bitcoin, that Bitcoin had already made a good chunk of its bull move, and the odds that Bitcoin would see significant continuation to help Litecoin see significant continuation, because Litecoin has to break 140 and then it has to break 144, which is the highest price that we've seen on this move. I just didn't like the odds of that. So I pulled that so I didn't get stopped in. I wouldn't have gotten stopped in anyway, but I just wanted to protect against that because I feel it would have been a poor entry. So looking at LTC BTC, it's a bear flag on the daily, a weak bounce attempt, and we're heading back down to the low 14.22, and the low right now is 14.35. So that support level is still holding, but we're going to have to see a very clear weekly higher low form in this weekly equilibrium. This is a key pattern for Litecoin as we head into the halvening, but we're going to be watching for a weekly higher low to form, and I expect a break of this equilibrium to take place sometime end of July or early August. So we could still pull back for another couple weeks, then we could bounce and form a lower high, which is why it might take another month plus to play out. But looking for that weekly higher low to form, ideal scenario would be a weekly higher low forms and LTC BTC starts to bounce right when LTC USD breaks this clear resistance. So the play on Litecoin, if you want a position, is entering into this consolidation, scaling in a few positions, putting your stop below support, and or otherwise buying into momentum for a bull break. But just comparing Litecoin and Ethereum over the last 2 days, it's clear that Bitcoin dominance is increasing a bit on this current move up. XRP USD, I like the 2-day time frame for clarity, nice and tight. We've got the lower high being set at 4636, and we're pulling back to form a higher low compared to 3699. And we're going to watch patiently for a break of this tightening pattern sometime, likely within the next 3 weeks. Again, this is one candlestick representing 2 days of action. Inside bars currently forming. If they were to break bearish, then this pattern is going to take longer to play out. So keeping an eye on it, but personally, if I was all cash in XRP, I would have no interest in playing anything until this range breaks. Or I would look to scale in, looking for a higher low if we did pull back under 40 cents to be looking for a playoff of 3699 support. Those are the only two things I'd be interested in, a break of this range or a bottom fishing play off of the previous support. Binance new all-time high. So nice continuation there. Bulls remaining in complete control. Anything above 29.81 is the daily high or low. Bulls extremely comfortable. The weekly bull flag, we certainly saw that forming. It has confirmed, and it continues to be the lead bull of cryptocurrency in 2019 as far as I'm concerned. And as long as that keeps up, it's a sentiment gauge for me. So the correlations aren't necessarily tick for tick with Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other names, but what Binance is doing for me is a sentiment gauge. And as long as it's a blue sky breakout, and as long as it's this strong, the crypto space is very healthy in my opinion. If we're going to see a loss of the daily uptrend in Bitcoin or a loss of a weekly uptrend in Bitcoin for monthly consolidation, in my opinion, that's when we're going to see the Binance chart with the first significant period of cooling off. And as long as that holds off, the sentiment of the space is very bullish. So, bull is the word still. Remember, the burden of proof is on the bears to show us something. And right now, they are certainly not doing that on Bitcoin. Bitcoin bulls have a ton of space to work with to form daily higher lows. They have a lot of space to work with to form a weekly higher low. At this point, we can pull back 18, 19% and still be in a weekly uptrend. So congrats to the bulls out there. At this point, I am still interested in Litecoin, and I will look to initiate a position, whether it's scaling into play based off support or on entering on a bull break of resistance. I have not decided yet, and my life is going to dictate that. If I'm busy this weekend and not at the computer a whole lot, I'm going to be making different trading decisions than if I'm sitting here and making videos all weekend and very, tuned in with what the market is doing. So thanks again. Do good things. We'll end it with some garden footage, and we'll check back in the near-term future.
Another garden update. So I'm running out of room. We've got all these tendrils, or whatever you want to call them, going all over the place. They're climbing the windows. They're doing their thing. So they're putting out the sour gherkins, and that's what they look like when they're ready. About the size of grapes. They look like little watermelons, and they're just little cucumbers that you pop in your mouth. Tomatoes starting to put all their fruit on. Bunch of different varieties, so they're all doing well. These cucumbers still doing their thing. I saw the praying mantis who lives over here earlier today, but I don't see him now. Harvested a giant zucchini off of here just a couple days ago. Hopefully it'll keep putting others out. The flowers have started, only a couple. Hopefully in a week or so, there'll be a lot more of those. There's a bird friend who just caught a bug. Potato plants are starting to die off and get weak. Heavy rain yesterday knocked these guys over, so I took a scarf that I had lying around and tied them up. But that's what they're supposed to do. The plants will just die off, and then late summer harvest those. Vines still crawling for these butternut squash, and the eggplant getting fatter. Harvested a couple of these peppers already, these little spicy green guys. The green beans have been going. The snap peas, you can see there's a whole bunch more fruit, and these are great snacks. These peppers are purple. I didn't really know that a purple bell pepper existed. I don't know if they're going to change to green or what, but that'll be interesting. More zucchini plants. They're putting out their baby zucchinis. The greens are getting much bigger. Kale and collards. And that's about it. This is my temporary spot, and I'm moving in. Well, I'm in the process of moving now, so I'll keep checking on these over the next 6 weeks or so. And then we get to start a whole much bigger project with a whole bunch of raised beds and all kinds of fun stuff. So, garden updates will change a bit over the next couple of months, and I look forward to sharing.